hard gel fill with some broken nails, and also I will try new Kiara Sky Carbide bits in this video coming up. Hello guys, Anastasia here. It is time to do fill for these nails. It's been 5.5 weeks. As you can see, 2 nails are broken, and let's do infill. I will try new Kiara Sky Carbide bits, so let's take a closer look. This one is called Large Smooth Top Medium Black. I think it will be great for filing surface as well as the length. And there is the same one but with a different color. And take a look at this. I mean, just looking at it is simply mesmerizing. Even though it's called purple, we can see a few colors. So this is like chameleon carbide bead, and this is my first one. I used to have only one color before. This one is called 5-in-1 medium black, and if you will take a look at the location of the flutes, it means that whether you're right or left-handed, you can use it anyways. And we have the same one but with a purple color. So I will be using this one for this fill definitely. And also we have an under nail cleaner, which we're going to use to clean under the nail. Let's get started. The purple bead is so pretty, so I decided to leave it for some special occasion and first go with the black one. So now our goal is to file off the top coat as well as the color. And by the way, you maybe noticed that these nails, they look kind of purple, and the reason why it happened is that this client, she was coloring her hair in purple and she did not use any gloves. And since she had a matte top coat, these top coats, they usually absorbs all the colors, especially if it comes to coloring your hair. By the way, I am working at relatively low speed, about 18,000 rotations per minute, because I'm not taking off nails now. My goal is only to file off the top layer, and I have to say these beads are good, like really sharp. I'm not really used to this kind of shape of the bead. I usually use the one which is a bit more pointed. But on the other hand, if the bead is too pointed, that means on the very tip of the bead you will have less abrasive because the flutes will not be as deep. I hope it makes sense. So with this kind of shape, you have the same depth of the flutes on the entire bead, which means it will be filing off the product a bit faster. But you need to be careful when working along the sidewalls and near the cuticle. But when you're doing infill, you do not really need to worry about that because the nails are outgrown anyway, so we have this margin between the cuticle and the product, and the same thing with the sidewalls.
I've been tearing around in my fucking nightgown, 24/7 Sylvia Plath, writing in blood on my walls 'cause the ink in my pen don't work in my notepad. Don't ask if I'm happy, you know that I'm not, but at best I can say I'm not sad, 'cause hope is a day.
Then we are going to file under the nail, and usually I insist that we will file out the entire outgrown natural nail to avoid lifting in the future. But this client, she asked me to keep her nails since she's planning to switch to a natural nail overlay after a couple of fills. And that's totally fine, that's understandable. So what I'm doing now, I'm just carefully filing this gap that we had after the first extensions. And this shape of the bead is just perfect for it because it's pointed but not extremely sharp. And the most important thing here is you need to hold it flat. You are not supposed to press into the product, otherwise you will file off the apex area from the underneath, and we do not want to do that. Now let's continue, and we need to prep the natural nail and the cuticle, and I will be using diamond flame beads to push up the cuticles. If you would like to learn more about electric file manicure, I have an online course, and I will leave the link down below with all the information.
Begging
Cuticles are cleaned and pushed up, and now it is time to trim them, and I will be using scissors to do that. And these scissors have a really long blades, and honestly this is my favorite model. I don't know, I just like when the blades are long, which means you can basically do 2 to 3 moves and that's it. Compared to when you have a shorter blades, you need to work a little bit more. But it also really depends on the hands. You know, some clients have a really tiny hands and some of them have bigger ones, and also the cuticles, they're all different. Some people are genetically blessed to almost not have any excess skin at all, while with others you really have to do some work. This is what we have now, clean cuticles, and now let's do the application. I rebuilt the nail that is broken, and also on this thumb we had a little lifting on the side, and now I will show you how we can easily fix that. But first let's apply dehydrator and non-acid primer only on the areas where we have outgrown natural nails, and if you will accidentally apply some on the product, it's not a problem. Just I recommend do not really waste the product on that. Since I will be working with a gel, and this is medium consistency gel, it works much better for me if I will add these areas first and then I will proceed into building the entire structure of the nail. So what I need to do is simply to fill this dip with the gel, and you can also ask your client to hold a hand in a special position while curing, because if she will hold it like she normally does and the product is runny, it may flood the sidewalls a little bit. So I recommend holding it like once you add this side, she needs to hold it on the side. Now fully cure it for 1 minute, and after that I'm going to build the nail. As you probably noticed, we didn't really change the length or the shape much, which means she still has long nails, and I need not only to add the product near the cuticle area where it is missing, but I also need to rebuild the apex and add more product to the center. This application technique looks a lot like the one I used when doing extensions. The only difference is that we already have some product underneath, so I need to add way less product than that. Also, do not work on the sidewalls too much if you're using a medium consistency gel, because it will go there anyways, and we really do not want to have thick sidewalls, especially for almond shape, because the nails will look wider. Before curing, take a look at the nail from different angles, and if you notice that the product is missing somewhere, I recommend to quickly add it right away. Or if you've been working for too long, you can always turn the hand around and then cure it. I just realized that I forgot to show you guys an important step, and here it is. After dehydrator and non-acid primer, we always need to use a base coat. Currently, I'm using the one by Cupa. It works really well with all the gels, but you can also use the one provided by the same brand that you are using. The thinner you apply a base coat, the better, and then you need to fully cure it in LED for 30 seconds. Now let's proceed to the application. I always apply the gel I'm about to apply first, like a thin coat, and I do not cure it. And then I take a drop and start working from the cuticle area right to the left, slowly sliding all the way onto the free edge. But near the cuticle, I'm applying just a tiny amount of the gel as well as along the sidewalls, and the majority of the product will always stay in the center where the stress area is. I recommend you to really take your time when applying the product, because it's not as hard as filing, and if you will do a really good job, you will not really need to file them, only a slight shaping. Then we cure in LED for 1 minute, and this happens so often with my clients, so let me guys know if you have any tips on how to avoid that fur getting stuck to their nails. Luckily the gel is fully cured, so I can easily clean it, but sometimes it happens in the middle of the design when I just flash cure some parts, or right in the middle of the application, which is not that big of a problem, but definitely, just adds more work. Then let's take off the sticky layer, and you need to do it in the direction from the cuticle to the free edge because we do not want any skin contact. And after that, I'm going to slightly shape the nails with 180 grit, and filing will be only buffing with 180 grit entity buffer. I will be buffing the top, and also before design and sealing with the top coat, I'm going to slightly buff the cuticles. I am using a diamond bead, and this is a red band. I know that it looks black, but it changed its color in my infrared sterilizer. For some reason they changed its color there. So I'm using a very low speed at the moment, about 10,000 rotations per minute, and I'm only slightly touching the skin. So this will help to reduce the amount of hangnails and dryness of the skin. At this point, we clean the nails. I simply ask the client to wash her hands with the soap, and now let's seal it with the top coat. Because the design I'm about to do with clouds and rainbow, I want to add it on top of the top coat, and this is possible if you seal it first, cure and LED. And I'm going to use Invoke gel paints, and they are tag-free, which means you can easily apply them right on top, even on glossy top coat. And I will be using all colors of rainbow, just adding one stripe at a time. And guys, it's pretty funny to do this design now in Russia because we just had an updates in our constitution, and being gay is unfortunately illegal in my country, and we have a very popular ice cream which is called Rainbow, and the government, they wanted to ban this ice cream because it's in the color of rainbow. I mean, how crazy is that? Are they gonna ban the actual rainbow in the sky? Anyways, just wanted to share because this is a big news now and everybody's talking about it. Anyways, I think this looks very pretty. Yellow is the only neon color that I used, and then I simply flash cure it for 5 seconds first, and now let's add some clouds. To create this kind of cartoonish cloud, all you need to do is basically to create an oval and then 2 ovals on the sides or more, and now we have a cloud. I recommend to do them in different sizes, and also on the rainbow nail we will have another cloud because the rainbow needs to go all the way into the cloud. So I've seen this design a few times on Instagram, on Pinterest, and really wanted to try that, and finally I had a client who was willing to do this kind of design. It's pretty easy, and I recommend you to apply a bit more gel paint than usual if you are doing this design on top. Let me guys know in the comments what kind of designs do you prefer. The one that you will inlay and seal with the top coat afterwards, so you will have a smooth nails, or do you like to apply something on top of the top coat? Because recently I really enjoyed these ones. I think they look a bit more vivid, and the design is kind of like on top. Now, do not forget to fully cure it for the entire 1 minute, and we do not need to do anything else because this is a no wipe gel paint and the design is ready. Let me guys know what do you think. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do not forget to subscribe as I post more every week. See you in my next one. Goodbye.